Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And with all the talk of the new float planes and things like that, and everybody's really getting into the sea travel, I figured this would be a good time to talk about the Grumman Goose once again. I know a lot of people have had a lot of issues downloading it, so I'm going to walk you guys through the way that I get it, the mod for the mod, as well as some better camera views that are available for this aircraft. So stick around guys, because we're going to walk through the whole process and then take it up in the air for a little bit. If you are interested in acquiring my Overkill's Cessna Citation Longitude guide from Microsoft Flight Simulator, consider joining my Patreon site at level tier 2 or above. That's $10 or more, which will give you access to all of the Overkill tutorial guides. Please keep in mind with Patreon, you do not have to subscribe each and every month. Once you subscribe, you will be charged $10. You will have access to all of the guides, and if you wish, you can then cancel the subscription, and you will maintain access to Patreon until the first of the following month. So, with that in mind, let's talk about what this guide is. This guide gives you a full flight tutorial from Boston to Minneapolis. It also walks you through installing any modifications that I use for this aircraft, a full cockpit tutorial, breaking down how to create your flight plan using SimBrief, which is a free service, and then completing the flight successfully. If there are any questions, you're always welcome to give feedback, as joining my Patreon site gives you access to my Discord channel as well, giving you direct access and communication to me. So once again, if you guys are interested, please consider joining the Patreon. It definitely helps support the channel and keeps the content coming, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Alright, so let's get after this. First thing we need to do is we need to actually download the aircraft. Now, there's a couple different links we're going to have to hit, and the particular website that you download this from, unfortunately, is filled with bloatware and adware and all that junk. So you have to figure out how to get around it. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So first, we're going to come here, and forgive the mouse skipping around. It never likes it when I have a browser in front of the simulator. It always does this. I'm not sure why. But so here is the original aircraft, okay, and here's all the things that it offers and whatnot. It's really awesome, quite fantastic modification actually. And then you're going to have a add-on for the add-on. You're going to have a better camera's view and then an actual improvement mod for the original add-on. So let's talk about how to get everything. Now, this is where it gets really obnoxious. Okay, this site unfortunately does have a lot of ads and junk like that trying to get you to download other stuff that you don't need. So, in order to do this, we're going to hit download. And you can see here's the aircraft. And then it wants you to do these two steps. Now, here's where it gets annoying if you don't understand how these sites work. You're going to hit free download. I'm not sure it accepted that. There it goes. Okay, and then it does this again. Okay, you're going to hit download again. Just watch for the same thing that I'm hitting. Don't hit anything else. Just this one here. And then it's going to do this junk. Just close this and hit download again. And there it goes. Okay. Now I'm going to cancel this because I already have it. And see, that's more adware. You just click past it and you can close this. Okay. Now I'm going to cancel this. Like I said, I already have it. So now let's talk about how to get the rest of it. And you just keep closing that junk as it comes up. It's not installing anything on your computer. It's just bloatware for the website. So then we're going to close this all together, and now we're going to come up and grab the next piece. So the big one here, the camera views, is up to you. The big one is going to be the improvement mod. So we're going to grab it, and it's going to be the exact same process. Scroll down to the bottom. Actually, what's that top one? Okay, cool. And it just tells you right here, before installing this enhancement mod, you'll need to load the plane. Okay, so this is what we just downloaded down here. And now we're going to get this improvement patch. And you can see all the things that it tunes. It does a really good job with it. It's really nice. And it's the same exact process. Download. You're going to come here. You're going to hit free download. You're going to hit download again. It's going to give you some adware or some ads, not adware, bad verbiage. And just keep hitting download until the download starts. And there it goes right there. And it completed very quickly. And then we can close this once again. And if you want, you can grab the better cameras. Okay. And again, rinse and repeat. So it's not that the site doesn't work. It's just, it's an ad-based website, which sucks, but it is what it is. Everyone's got to keep it within the budget. So free download, download again. There's the ad again. Close it, hit download again, and boom, there it goes. So now you got all three. Okay, so once we have all three, I'll show you guys how I have mine structured. Okay, so the first thing that I've done is we've downloaded it and we extract it. Okay, so this is an extracted folder. This isn't the same one. I've already done this, so bear with me. But these are zipped folders. You want to extract it. Okay, once you've extracted it, I use addons linker. So I've created my own mods directory that addons linker is looking at. If you're not using addons linker, you're going to drop those 3 folders into the community folder. But I want to show you how to structure it. But I highly recommend using something like addons linker. You can create your own directory, and it makes it very, very simple to add and remove addons. So in my MSF mods directory, okay, this is a directory I created. Okay, it's custom. I've created these folders here for structure. Now I have aircraft. These are all my different add-on aircraft that I've downloaded or improvements, whatever they may be. And here's the Goose. And here are all 3 folders. Now what I've done here is the better cameras, okay? And remember, if you are putting these directly into your community folder, I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to this part, because this is where a lot of people still have trouble. And that's totally okay, but I want you guys to watch very, very closely how it should look. If this was our community folder, okay, it would be community and then these. Take the Goose out, okay? So if you are putting it directly into, I'll show you guys. Just make that simple. Here's our community folder. Okay, here's all the add-ons again. And if you guys actually want, we could even find, let's see, where is it? There it is. There's the aircraft right there. There is the improvement mod. Now that you see that there's a Z in front of that, I added that. And then the better cameras should also be in here somewhere, but you guys catch the gist. I think it's probably going to be up here. Yep, right there. There's the better cameras for it. Okay, so if we open them up, this is the very next portion. So whether you're using an addons linker, for example, all these with the little shortcut icon are using the addons linker. This one for like the F-14 is not. Okay, if we open it, there's the actual aircraft. Okay, there aren't any other folders other than the structure. Okay, so anytime you're dropping directly into the community folder, you need to make sure that you only go 1 folder deep. The very next folder when you open it should be the mod. So it should be, think of these as titles. What are you clicking on? This is a title. Click it, there's the mod, okay? So now going back to what I was doing, I have aircraft, and this is, this is why I like addons linker, because I can structure it. Aircraft, then I have the Goose, and then again, here is the aircraft itself that we're looking at behind us. And then this is the improvement mod. Now I added the Z in front of it because I want the aircraft to load before the mod. Your mods and add-ons will load in alphabetical order, so keep that in mind. This is not a requirement. This is something I just do because it just makes sense to me the way it's layered. That way you don't have something loading before the aircraft and then it messes everything up. All right, so once you get these installed, however you want it, whatever your method is, then you can launch the aircraft, and under your propeller aircraft, you'll find the Grumman Goose. So with the installation complete, now let's just take it for a little flight so you guys can check out how much fun this thing is, because it really is a ton of fun. All right, so now that we've got our aircraft installed, our mod is installed, we can dive into how to fly it. And it's actually very, very simple. It's not very complex, and yet still an absolute joy. First, we'll take a second. You can see the textures are actually really nice for a completely freeware aircraft. There's a couple things you could really dive into if you wanted to be nitpicky, you know, but again, for free aircraft, I really try not to do that. I really like it. I think it looks really cool. Now, with the engine start process, I typically just do the auto start. And again, this aircraft, I can't stress enough. This is an aircraft that I fly when I just want to kick back, you know. I want to kick back, I just want to have a good time, maybe cruise around, do some sightseeing, get my inner Jimmy Buffett out. Yeah, because everybody needs to do this sometimes. Sometimes you got to get your Margaritaville out. I love the atmosphere that was created inside this cabin here. You got the old paper map here. Got a couple pictures around here, like there's one down there. Old wartime. Looks like anyway. Ooh, he's got a pistol in his hand. Guy's getting cray-cray. But there's the goose right behind him. That's cool. I never noticed the goose behind him before. You got Miss Monroe up here, looking gorgeous as always. Such a sad story there. But this aircraft is just a blast. So let's do some flying. Let me get myself situated. There we go. Release that parking brake. I just use Control and P or Papa on our keyboard here, whatever you guys have it bound to. Now we're going to need the back taxi here. We could roll it just out into the water there, but it actually doesn't look like that's an opening into open water, so that would not be enough to get us where we need to go. So first we'll do a ground takeoff, and then we'll land in the water. But the sounds on it are fantastic. I love the sounds too. They really did a great job with it. And again, did I mention that this is free? That's the other thing I want to make sure that we're really focusing on here. Free. I guess what still astonishes me on many of the payware products is when you have free aircraft coming out that are like this, and this isn't perfect by any means. It's definitely, very simple and could definitely have better textures, blah blah blah. Uh-oh, last one. I let my throttle cut too low. That was my fault. Alright, just trying to get a better center line here. And you really got to watch that that tail brake there, or that tail wheel. And then here we can set the tail wheel to caster. So here's locked or caster. We're going to lock it. Alright, and let's set flaps 30 for takeoff. And the flaps do actuate. You can actually see them happen. Alright, let's get rolling. We'll be looking for about 80 knots for rotation. That tail wheel comes up pretty fast, so you want to start adding some back pressure pretty quick. The gear advisories letting you know that you need to get the light or the gear up. What happened there was my gear switch on my HOTAS was actually in the retracted position. So again, my fault. Seem to have a lot of those lately. But there we go. I mean, nice smooth takeoff. It's fun. You do have to dance your rudders a little bit when that tail wheel comes up, or it'll throw you for a loop. But she's a blast to fly. Just going through a little flight test here. Let's pull those flaps up. And she's pretty quick too. She gets up and going. A lot of trim required in this aircraft. That's the other thing. A lot of trim. Now you can use the autopilot system. I believe it does work, but I try not to in this aircraft. This is one of those planes where it's like, nah, that ain't right. We're going to watch our mixture. There it is right there. So I pull the mixture back until I start to lose RPMs. So right about there. And then now we're going to pull the manifold pressure back, or the RPM, excuse me. And then now we'll pull our manifold pressure back to where it needs to be. And then we're a nice little cruise. So it's a busy enough aircraft and complex enough that it's still fun to fly. As a pilot, you're still busy, right? You're still doing things. And like I said, if you stay away from the autopilot, she definitely keeps you busy through the entire flight. But this is where I love this aircraft. Flying in places like this, or like up near Alaska is fun. Northern parts of Canada and at the coastline. A lot of fun to fly this one. Flew it all around Australia one day on a live stream. That I had a good time with that. Parked her next to Sydney, the Sydney Opera House. It's fun plane to just sort of kick back in. Because she's only got a range of 1,000 nautical miles. That's totally practical. Props to those of you who get that reference. Love that show. But the sounds are fantastic. The feel of the aircraft is fantastic. It's like you can feel the difference between those hydraulic aircraft and those cable controlled. You know, I'm pretty sure this thing's all cables. Can't really tell through the cockpit unless they're running through those tubings. I guess it could be hydraulic. Hard to say. Let's land it right in there. I think that'll be fun. Maybe that'd be a fun one too. But I think we'll come around from over here and then land in this way. I think we can do it. I'm telling you, lots of trim, especially right trim. Now you can also trim the rudder. It's right down there. This guy here. I typically don't. I typically just apply a little bit of left rudder or right rudder, whatever I need on the slip indicator. Maybe we should do... This one could be a challenge. We'll see. Giving you guys the heads up right now. Things could go south landing in here, but we're going to try it. I don't actually... Well, no. So I'll just... Instead of coming right here, we'll make this our approach path right here. That'll work perfectly. That's plenty of space. The Bahamas is definitely somewhere I could do some island hopping. By the way, for those of you who will catch this, we are doing a live stream group flight tonight. Doing some island hopping all through the Caribbean. Be flying the TBM 930, just sort of going from island to island, cruising around, doing some sightseeing, being silly. Should be a good time. Make sure you guys catch me on the live streams. They've been a lot of fun lately. A lot of laughing, a lot of good times. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to pull some power off again. Start slowing this little lady down. There's 120 knots. I'm going to go flap 30. Now, I think you only land in the water at flap 30. I don't think you go beyond that. You drop the floats. Now, that sound does repeat itself, but that's all right. I'm going to go back to max RPM for the landing here. Now, visibility was definitely not something that was taken into a lot of consideration with this cockpit, so you just have to sort of be ready for that. You know what I didn't do? I didn't set our... Yeah, that's what I thought. I never set the altimeter. So we're looking at about 700 feet. Let's try to keep her there for now. There we go. I think this will work out nice. We're going to cut this corner a little bit here. Coming down right over the treetops. Then set her in the water. But could you ask for a better looking approach? I mean, it's gorgeous. Nice and easy. And we're in the water. And the water rudder works pretty darn well with it. Just like anything else, it's obviously not as effective as your wheel rudders, or as your nose wheel steering, tail wheel steering in this case, but she turns pretty well. I mean, you can do, here's full right rudder here. You know, obviously the faster you go, the, you know, less or the wider your turn's going to be, just like anything else. But what's really handy is you can take your prop RPM, pull it back a bit, and I mean, she'll almost stop dead in her tracks. I mean, this is pretty good. Very quick way to slow her down. Got to add some RPM back. When we get those oil lights, you're running too low. You can also put your flaps down at full once you're down in the water. That makes a big difference too. But anyway, very, very fun aircraft, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. By all means, let me know what your favorite seaplane is down in the comments below, or what you feel of this one if you give this one a shot. Alright guys, as always, I will see you guys in the next one, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will catch you guys in the next one.